February 6th, 2019, 1 p.m. Calvin Castine at the North Country Chamber of Commerce in Plattsburgh, and it's a little signing going on today at Clinton Community College and CV-TEC announcing New Pathways, and that's what our story will be all about, and we'll ensure that Gary Douglas will be introducing it in just a moment, so don't go away.
On behalf of the North Country Chamber of Commerce, welcome to this, what seems to be becoming our almost every other day press event. But there's that much good news and more good news today that warrants you coming out and being part of this and witnessing this and covering this story here today. As we finished up the last year, which seems like so long ago, it was only about a little over a month ago, we had extraordinary news in terms of unemployment rates in this area, particularly in Clinton County. They dipped as low as 3.4%. I'm not sure we've ever seen that before. What was particularly remarkable is that it was lower than the state and federal unemployment rates. When has that ever happened in the North Country? We're always trailing by at least a bit, even during the best of times. And then on Friday, some of you joined us here, and we made two back-to-back announcements.
It's the government. Look on my secretary. But we had two other pieces of news that also relate to this story here today in a very direct way, and that was the release of our one was the release of our annual issue survey, which gave an expression of where the business community's needs and priorities are. And lo and behold, far out in front of what they expressed as number 2 or number 3 or other priorities amongst the matters that were posed to them was workforce development. They said very strongly that their priority, particularly in Albany this year, is to see the provision by the state and by the federal government as well of more support and more flexible support for workforce development as we go through this challenge of both a tight workforce in terms of unemployment, but also changing demographics, changing skills needs, and other dynamics that are making it more difficult for employers, particularly in a growing economy like our area here in Plattsburgh, to fully take advantage of the opportunities that are on our doorstep. They're not coming. They're still coming, but they're also on our doorstep right here and now. And then we released the results of a national analysis by a company called Polycom in Florida, a respected firm that analyzes data, federal data, so it's totally objective. They don't do surveys, they don't ask for input, there's no influence. They analyze raw federal economic data, and they look back 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years at micropolitan areas, 515 of them across the country, to gauge in a ranked order economic strength. Who is showing the signs weighted in a set formula of various federal data points has the strongest economy of all the micropolitan, which is small city areas across the country. And we turned up number 1 in the Plattsburgh the micropolitan statistical area for the entire state of New York against all of the other small cities. Number 40 out of 515 nationwide. So in the top 80%. So with all of that good news, all of it providing kind of more stress, more need for focus on workforce training, workforce skills, development, education, for a small area, unlike a big metro area which has universities and lots of big providers and can more easily sustain and do things on a larger scale because they're a larger area. But what about a small area like ours, which is basically almost a rural area, but with more like a metro manufacturing community in particular in terms of the growth and the cluster of companies that it's developing? How does it manage that and do it well and do it better, hopefully, than others are doing across the country? Well, the answer is, and we've known it here at the Chamber, and our partners know it, and are expressing it here once again today, the power of partnership. That no one can solve the problem. No one school, no one institution, no one organization, no one player can do enough to really advance us and take advantage of those opportunities. That even more than in a metro area, we need the players, the partners, to engage in partnership and collaborate
and then increasingly to create easy pathways. You know what? Here's a secret. To make something easier, people do it more. And that's what they're about here today. They want to make some things easier for students and folks looking at pathways and how they can get from this point and go through that pipeline and come out the other end as readily and with the least amount of fuss and duplication and expense as they can, because then more of them are going to say, you know, I think I can do that. I think I can devote myself to this and come out that other end of that pipeline. It's easier now than the last time I looked at it. And so that's what's important about what you're going to hear about here today. It's another significant advance in the power of partnership in terms of addressing our workforce development needs here in this area, which means maximizing the economic opportunities that are on our doorstep. Before calling on Ray and Mark to describe in more detail what their two institutions are doing here today, and then sign the agreement and make it real. Don't let them get in an argument or anything before they sign. We got to get signed. So we're going to make sure we get it in writing and get it signed to make it real, which I know is going to happen. But one of our great partners over the last couple of years, and even before that, during his time in Franklin County, when he really started to become a great regional partner on economic and workforce development matters, our Assemblyman Billy Jones is here to witness and support what's taking place today, and happy to call on him for some welcoming remarks.
I just want to thank the Chamber first. They're always leading the way in forming and collaborating these partnerships that are so important to our region. So I want to thank Gary and the North Country Chamber of Commerce. And when we talk about the North Country Chamber of Commerce, I'm down in Albany a lot, and whenever I mention the North Country, we hear, oh, they've got a great chamber up there, they're doing good things. So once again, Gary's gone through all the great things that have happened so far this year, and we're early on in the year. But one of the things I do want to say is how important both these learning and educational institutions are to our region, Clinton Community College and CVES. And I want to stress that, how important these two institutions are to our region, and they really are. And to see them collaborating on this, it's really a great day, and we will get to the signing, hopefully, right? I wore my Clinton colors today. But it truly is, this allows students, as Gary had mentioned, it allows students a clearer path. We talk about pathways. And when we talk about workforce development, this is workforce development. And we're witnessing it here right now. And the need for it, all three of us up here talk about it. Many people in the crowd talk about it all the time, how we need workforce development here in the region. This is doing it. I want to congratulate them on a collaborative effort. That's what we need to do here in the North Country, and we do it the best out of any place in the state. So I really just want to lend my support and congratulate both of you and your institutions for being the partner, for being the important institutions you are in this region, and for making workforce development an important and how crucial it is to our area. And we've proven it today. Again, how we collaborate, how we partner up, and we do things the best here in the North Country. Congratulations, and look forward to the signing. Thank you.
Next, to tell you what is occurring today, what's been agreed to, and why it's significant, and we'll hear from both of our partners in that regard. But we'll begin with Ray DePasquale, the president of Clinton Community College, or as we know him here at the Chamber, the right person in the right place at the right time.
And I think it's really important as we talk about this partnership, is that things happen for a reason. I've been here 2 years now, and when I first came to this community, Gary was one of the people that everyone said, you have to go and talk to Gary, and we all know why. But Gary said when I got here that there's these two institutions, CVS and us, and you two really don't collaborate. You really don't work together. And why is that? And it was one of our priorities. And so Gary, it's today, listening to you, guiding us, and more importantly, bringing educational institutions together for all the right purposes. And I want to thank you in the chamber for all you do in helping education be as strong as it is for everyone in this community. And so that doesn't go unseen. These things don't happen unless someone's driving them. You continue to drive them, and thank you. My friend Assemblyman Jones has just been, it's been fun hanging out with you.
Thank you. I don't get that one.
And what are you doing here? You should be in Albany. And it's nice to see Clinton colors. But you know what he's done is brought educational institutions together. He has a higher ed day where he brings all the presidents of the institutions to talk about what are the issues you need. And he brings them back to Albany. And he comes back here and works for all of us. So I can't thank you enough for the support that you give education and the priority that you've made it for us. So thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mark and Michelle have just been great partners. They invited me to visit their institution as I went through and looked at all of your programs, and it just was like, wow, this is exciting. They're great people, they're great leaders, they're great educators. And it's nice that we can stand here today and say, we have $28 million worth of investment going on in community college. New IEM manufacturing building that everyone has so much to do with it. It's doing so well. A new 4.6 Learning Commons project, and an $11 million facade of our new Moore building, bringing that back to Lakeview Hotel. You take that and you look at what just happened in our county, and beyond our county, actually, for you, and it's a real investment. This area is totally committed to education. And Mark, congratulations on your success with getting what's needed to help our young people be successful. And thanks for your partnership. You know, when you talk about partnerships, it has to be good for everyone. Truly has to be best for everyone. And in this case, who's everyone? The students. The kids, the children of our county, of Clinton County, are the ones that are going to benefit from this more than anyone else. That's what this is about. It's bringing our institutions together so that our young people can have real career pathways to success. From a great educational institution and the things that you do on to college seamlessly, and doing it in areas where there are real jobs. That's the difference, is working together so that when our students come through our educational system, we're real partners in making this better. So when they're coming, they're getting college credits for the work they did at CV-TEC, right? Real college credits, getting a head start and a real career pathway to their education. The LPN and nursing program. Tina Evans, the head of our nursing department, is here. If you have questions afterwards, raise your hand. And Michelle and John, Cole John is our VP for Academic Affairs, and John and Michelle sat down here, you need to know this, closed the door and made this happen. They actually wrote up this agreement. And now we have clear pathways for our students to work together and come together to get a quality education right here in our county. That is a true partnership. And then there's no more, you know, who's doing what, who's doing why. It's collaborating, looking at our curriculums, making sure, and Gary, looking at our region, you know, as you look at this, the success of this county is like nowhere else. The companies that want to come here and work and grow. We trained 300 people from Bombardier from last January to now. Amazing how they're growing. Nova Bus, Norris Titanium, I can go on, Moldrite, Bakerstone Rail, all these companies saying we want to grow, Swarovski, all coming to Clinton and saying we have real jobs, we need you to do real training, we need to collaborate. Nursing, the tremendous shortage of nurses for the future, and this new nursing partnership will assure this county that we're going to provide quality. And by the way, our nursing program is second to none. I'm going to ask you, Tina, what was our passing rate?
97%. There you go.
Oh, wow. She just happened to That is one of the best, not in the county, but in all of New York State. One of the best nursing programs anywhere in the country. When you look at, remember, our students take the same licensing exam as a student who graduates from a four-year school. Everyone takes the same licensing exam. Our students score 97%, a real credit to our faculty and the training that they get. So Tina, John, Michelle, Mark, thank you for this partnership. And in the end, it's about one thing, our young people, our students. Well, giving them a quality education from K to 20, as they say. This is an educational system. It's taking out the barriers of, here's college, here's this, here's that. We're one system, working together to help our young people find a pathway to a real job, real education, and a quality of life right here in Clinton County. So today, it really is exciting, a pleasure to be here, and we welcome our partners in education. And I'm going to say it again, Assemblyman Jones, your support, your continued help. Gary, we promise you that we will deliver the best education we can for our kids and get them ready for the jobs of the future that are happening right here in Clinton County. So thank you all.
Next up, because if we only have one partner and one signature, I don't know what happens with that. We're going to have two. We got two partners and two signatures. Mark Davey is District Superintendent of CVES, which also is home of CV-TEC, and happy to have him up here. I have no question in saying this. I deal with my colleagues across the state. I think we have the finest, most flexible, most progressive BOCES anywhere in the state of New York, one of the best in the country. And they earned the overwhelming approval of the voters in their district in December for their new capital plan, which is going to allow them to be even more flexible and more productive and more responsive in the years ahead.
Okay. And what a privilege it is to be here as part of this signing and this articulation agreement. But really the greater message that's happening here, and that is not only are we partners, but we all have a vision for the future of how we can come together, strengthen our working relationship, we can strengthen our partnership, and we can provide better and more efficient workforce development for all of our students, for our communities, and for our economic growth. And I would be remiss without acknowledging the support of Gary Douglas. I can't think of a more outspoken supporter of CVES and CV-TEC.
No, I am outspoken.
But a strong supporter who, as we were unfolding our capital project, the Chamber was the first organization that came out and endorsed our capital project and was very vocal about it, and also very supportive in the business community to say this is important and this is how it's going to help our students. As I look at our other colleague, Ray, I cannot think of a better partner for CVES and CV-TEC to continue to work with. Clinton Community College has been a strong partner over the years with the CAP programs. That's the advanced placement classes. We've worked together on the P-TEC and worked and made a lot of progress in pulling that together. We're now putting together some early college, high school planning. So we're continuing to look at other options, but now and today, our collaboration and growth with Mrs. Friedman as our director, our CVES team, our assistant superintendents, our principals, Mrs. Tedford as the head of our nursing program. We have a strong team that we are so proud to continue to strengthen that partnership and provide a better pathway for our students and for the medical community and really grow that partnership in all areas. I'd also like to just acknowledge our assemblyman. Billy Jones has been an outspoken critic as well, and when I say that very positively, he's been a strong supporter.
Outspoken critic.
Yeah, no, an outspoken supporter. Sorry, Billy. Okay. No, outspoken supporter, and been very, very supportive of education, of CVS, of all of our schools. Our BOCES is comprised of 17 school districts, now 16, with a recent merger of 2 of our districts. And we have 13,500 students in our BOCES. So all of those students, all of those graduates, all of those individuals, those alumni who are entering the workforce and looking for the opportunities to provide an income and a career for themselves and their families in the future. And the stronger we can build our relationship and that partnership, the better we can be for everyone. So with a happy heart, I'm here today and very proud to be part of this signing, and on behalf of CVES, our BOCES, our board of Cooperative Educational Services, and all of our team members, we're so proud to be here, and I thank you.
sit at the table and prepare to sign the agreement. And Billy and I get to do the real easy part. We're going to stand behind them and we're going to witness the signatures. And then we'll take some questions from the news media if you want to ask us some questions as a group. Afterwards, we'll break up and be happy to be available separately.
As we're signing this, I'd like the team from Clinton Community College just to stand that all came out here today, so please. And Tammy, thank you for setting this all up today.
Okay, and I would like to ask our senior staff and everyone here today to please stand up.
It's a fair. Questions?
Thank you.
Some questions from our friends in the media. Any would you like to ask us as a group? We'll take now.
One of the things that you were talking about was this helping the youth of the community, and, you know, the initial students. What about, you know, people who might be older, want to switch jobs and look for new career opportunities? How does this program, or will this program help them?
Yeah, it's a great question, because so much what's happening is the adult population in our area, and people being recruited and getting new jobs for the new technologies that are happening. All of this ties in very nicely. It's just a logical, I mean, the same thing. It doesn't matter if they're 18 years old, or 16 years old, or 45 years old, or maybe a little older. It's very easy. It's the same training, the same pathways, all of it works together pretty seamlessly. And that's the design behind it, is that, you know, I mean, if I asked our nursing department, our average age of our nurses, for instance, are 20.
Late 20s.
Yeah, late 20s. So you'll see that it's not just traditional high school students, but it's all encompassing. Great question, because it's happening so much. In the adult population, with again, companies like Norris Titanium coming in, who are going to be hiring a lot of people and operators, we're actually going to be working with them to develop a new curriculum. So it's an exciting time in this county, and we've got the right educational institutions who are lined up to do the training that they need for all people who live in this county. So it really works well. Mark, did you want to add anything?
No, I think you really hit it on the head.
Maybe could step up for their microphone.
Okay, sure. I think you really hit it on the head. And as CV-TEC is also a post-secondary training program, we do have many adults who re-enter the workforce or change their careers, and this provides a great opportunity for those individuals and students who want to really get their strong foundation to start with in our LPN program, and now then to transition to Clinton Community, which we know has one of the best passing rates in the state, and just got seen. And that's something that I was very familiar with prior to this, because many of the medical professionals that I know in the area are graduates, and they're proud graduates of Clinton Community College and the nursing program. So it really is a privilege for us to solidify this partnership moving forward.
People are changing careers more and
Yes.
more often. You know, I don't know what the latest statistic was, but at one point it was people change careers 5 to 6 times in their lifetime. So this certainly feeds into it. Another important point, and I know I'm a politician, you're not going to be able to shut me up, but I just want to say how important it is that these are homegrown jobs, and we always talk about keeping young people in our area, and you know, there are no jobs here, and I get a little fed up in hearing that, because there are jobs out there. There are jobs here in the North Country, but we need to provide the opportunities to keep our students here in the North Country. And this is a classic example of how we can do that and keep people here, because I always say, well, we want to keep our people, our families here, we want to keep our young people here. These are the types of opportunities that create that. And, you know, this is a classic example of how we can do that.
Well said. You should consider running for office.
So now that the partnership is in place and people can consider entering this program, how is it actually gonna work? Are you gonna have people take classes at Clayton Community and then have to shuttle down to CV-TEC for another class, or how exactly is it gonna work?
You know, essentially,
For the
Mark,
microphone.
Our program is not a CV-TEC, and CVS is not degree credit. Okay, but we are a post-secondary accreditation program that you can earn college credit. And as part of our LPN program, the students will be able to then transition from our LPN program with that certificate, and they become state licensed practical nurses. They will now be able to transition more seamlessly into the RN program at Clinton Community.
so he said it well, because the idea is to make it seamless, very seamless from our CV-TEC and CVS institutions straight into the college. They'll get college credits. And if I know you don't have it here probably, but if you look at their curriculums, you'll see where there are college credits matched to what they're taking at your particular institutions. So that when a student actually arrives at community college, they will receive X amount of college credit, which is a head start and really shows the training that's been done there. And then, you know, the other piece too is that it's not just a career pathway to us. If students decide to go on to four-year schools, we're also strengthening our four-year transfer programs into Plattsburgh and Potsdam and Unity College in Maine most recently. SUNY Farmingdale is coming up. The college is continuing to really look at all our partnerships and growing with them to give our students the best educational opportunities we can right here in Clinton County, with seamless transfer opportunities, all the way from working together in a true partnership that's going to only strengthen what our young people have for credentials when they leave, and giving them certificates and credentials along the way, so that when they do graduate, they are very qualified. And what happens is, you know, the business in this area are coming and asking for these students. I mean, they want to hire before they even get to the point of graduating. So it's all good news for our county, and it's just exciting to see that we finally did something formally in getting it right, bringing us together in the best way possible. Because as we look to the future, as we look to design new programs, we do it with them in mind. When you look at programs, they're asking us, what do you think? That never happened before. And it's happening in a very positive way. And it's because of their good team and my good team and the help of the chamber and this community wanting all of us, as we've seen and evidenced by the vote that you got of confidence in the new facility, and how fast Clinton Community College is going as well. So it's an exciting time, to say the least. Other comments or questions from anyone?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Outside of nursing, what other specific fields of study are going to be helped by this?
Good question, because they are updating and recommitting to a broader range of things too. You wanna, which one you wants to?
Michelle, you want to just rattle them
Yeah.
all?
Well, sure. I
Sure,
have studied for
absolutely.
this.
Michelle,
And
Because there's a whole gamut of them.
And
We want to get it right.
And could I just acknowledge Michelle Friedman, who is our Director of Career and Technical Education. She really is a rock star in the field, being recognized statewide by her colleagues, but her leadership and her passion for career and technical education in our students, whether they're in high school or they're post-secondary, the same passion she brings to work every day, and it's infectious. And it really is a tremendous partnership, and she's been a strong working partner with Clinton Community College, with the Chamber, to really continue to advocate and strengthen on behalf of CVS for all.
She is one of the most outstanding assets in the region when it comes to workforce development.
There you go.
Question, I think I'm gonna stand up here for a little longer. Thank you so much. Truly, I have the pleasure of always being able to share all of the hard work from our teams. We have amazing teams. We have people who are so rooted in amazing CTE in the North Country. To answer your question, the partnership agreement that we're signing today specifically addresses the healthcare component. And when we're talking about pathways for students, before, we used to see a career path as a very linear path. You go to high school, then you go to college, then you go and you move in a very linear way. The new age of pathways are on-ramps and off-ramps and working as you go and stacking your credentials. So as early as 11th grade, students can enter a healthcare component at CV-TEC. At the end of their junior year, be certified CNAs. At the end of their senior year, be certified EKG technicians and phlebotomists. Go into an LPN program, that's a post-secondary program that we have at CV-TEC. Earn their LPN, transition seamlessly with 9 credit articulated credits to the amazing program at Clinton Community College, do their nursing program, and then move on to all different components. And that's just one of the examples of the on-roads and off-ramps of the healthcare pathway. We have always had a strong articulated partnership for all of our programs at CV-TEC, academically and in the career clusters. We have CAP credits for English language arts, for technical math, so students who can demonstrate that capacity can transfer seamlessly to Clinton and earn those gen ed credits. We also have pathways in security and law enforcement, which articulates to your criminal justice program, and other human relations components. Our early childhood education program transfers into theirs as well. So we are basically renewing our vows today with our other articulated credits. But the nursing pathway, and John, and I have to say, I am getting credit for putting the agreement together, but that is the hard work of our health careers coordinator, Dina Tetford, and our academic coordinator, Colleen LaFountain, and they let me stand up here and take the podium. But the hard work was done by them and the team. But we do not believe that we would have the strength and the quality of the programming at CV-TEC without the partnership of Clinton Community College. We are better and stronger together, and this today just demonstrates that. And there's no other better way to see you all, the gentlemen here, signing on behalf, because truly we are better together. We want to train, sustain our workforce in the North Country, and continue to be a leader and an example of how to do it. So thank you for asking the question.
You know what we can do for you as well is that in the agreement that we've signed, we actually spell out the advanced standing pathways. And so it tells you all of them, from aviation to digital art design, early childhood education, electrical design, alternative energy. It shows you from CV-TEC what they would transfer into at the community college. So this is really a good piece that I think will absolutely outline for everyone all of the areas that students have in this chapter. It was a perfect question. Thanks for separating that.
Any other group questions?
With
Yes.
the assemblyman being here, I always wonder what that means at the state level. So does this mean you have to get like more state funding or more state support? To
We're
be
working on that. No, for this particular project, obviously we want to create, or we want to support these programs, and I have a personal, that's one of my goals, I should say, when I started out in this career, and I will continue to do that. Like I said before, it is workforce development, and in actual time you can see the results of it. And as Gary had mentioned before, the state is making a considerable amount or paying a more considerable amount of attention to this, and we should. It's needed, and we have to do it. I've had many discussions with these gentlemen here on ways that we can do that. And I do preach that in Albany all the time about how we can, our learning institutions can be, and I can't speak as eloquently as Michelle did, but we can really be workforce development agencies. I hate to use that word, but that's, for lack of a better word, we can, and we should take advantage of these institutions to do that. And we need to do more of that. As far as state support for that, I'm sure you're not going to get any argument from any of these gentlemen up here that we should have more support for that as far as funding. And that's another key thing that we'll be discussing in the budget coming up. We put a considerable amount of money into workforce development last year's budget. Implementing it, I always say, I stand up here and I say the implementation of any program or any funding that we put forward is the most important part. We can put all the figures up there, we can do all that, but if we don't implement these programs into projects like this, then we're just spinning our wheels. So we have to work better at the implementation on the state level. Here in the North Country, we know how to do it, we just have to get the state support to do that. And I'm a firm believer that we can and we should be doing more of it.
Tom?
You talk about the demand for healthcare workers. Do you have a commitment from CDPH or Hudson Headwaters or some of the bigger healthcare providers in the area that they will hire these students once they complete their schooling? And is it almost to the point where they can guarantee that they'll have jobs here in the area when they get out?
It's a great question. I don't think anybody guarantees anything, but again, when you talk about the relationship we have with our local hospitals, our students get hired. Placement rate is virtually 100%. They have jobs before they leave. They're offered multiple jobs. And it's only growing. And as we all know, the nursing shortage is beginning to hit, and the demand for more nurses is growing. So I think, you think about all that and you say, absolutely, you want a job, and this is the field for you, I think you can get a job when it's over. And the fact that our placement rate is literally 100% of nurses, it pretty much says it all. So it's a great question. Great partnerships with our hospitals, and the new CEO of the hospital also happens to be a Clinton Community College double graduate in nursing and in business. So we could say we have a pretty good person there who we think is being very, 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 very supportive of these programs. So,
And I heard from Michelle just before this, she was hoping to be here, but she apologized. Something came up, she couldn't get away. Happens.
she's a great partner.
But that just stresses to the point, Tom, earlier that I was making, that we do have jobs here in the North Country. When I travel around to the hospitals, to businesses, to anybody that I'm talking to out in the field, their number one concern here in the North Country and maybe throughout the state is labor and getting people to take these, getting people to fill these jobs. And so partnerships like this, and I'll say it again, I'll repeat myself, are a prime example on how we can do that. Keep our young people in the area to get these jobs. We do have the jobs out there. And I'll repeat again, the jobs are out there. We just have to make these career pathways a little more seamless and make sure we get the people in the right fields. And or get the people to the fields that need the jobs. I'm getting tongue-tied now. But that's what we need to do. And this is a perfect example of it, and we need to continue to do it and support it with workforce development dollars from the state as well.
Anything else? Okay, thank you all. We'll remain available for you and the media to the side. You want to talk on this?